Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, hello, hello. This is your friend, the Dark Librarian. And I am here to tell tales of terror. And my new little friend here, Mr. Bones the Younger. He's the younger because he hasn't been dead quite as long as the other Mr. Bones. And he is helping me here to show the book that we're going to look at tonight. Here on Bizarre Brain Comics. This is a Warren horror magazine. Creepy number 103. My elixir. So, let us consult the big book of knowledge. And the story that we're going to peruse is called The Black Cat by Edgar Allan Poe. And it was adapted and drawn by Berni Wrightson. Oh, who else? Okay, this creepy magazine, number 103 from 1978. And Creepy was an American black and white illustrated horror magazine published by Warren Publishing starting in 1964 and ran for 145 issues. It was an anthology title and hosted by the character Uncle Creepy. Yes, we'll visit with Uncle Creepy. And it had sister titles in the same vein, the same bloody vein, Eerie and Vampirella, both of which came along later. Jim Warren, publisher of famous Monsters of Filmland, was approached by illustrator and editor Russ Jones to do a horror comic after the fashion of the great EC horror comics. So we could have pre-code horror anytime we wanted in the black and white magazines, which is outside the comics code. Creepy was the result in 64, and over the years it featured writing and artwork from a host of greats in the field. And some of them are still going strong in newer horror black and white magazines. So, let us let us go visit Uncle Creepy and see what he has in store for us. Here we have Creepy number 103, and it's a wonderful cover painting of all the animals breaking loose, breaking through the cage. I don't know who did this cover painting. Because it doesn't list specifically. It has a list of the artists who contributed to the this issue, but does not specify who did what. They give credits inside with the stories, however. Maybe it's Richard Corbett. He's listed on there. I don't know. No, he has one of the stories in here. So it's not him. Aurelian, I think is what the name is. That sounds most likely. And it says, Demon Beasts Unleashed. Yes, all the stories are about animals in this issue. And as I said, there, that's a little better with the glare. The story we're going to look at is The Black Cat by Edgar Allan Poe, adapted and drawn by Berni Wrightson. Okay, and Edgar Allan Poe, everyone knows Edgar Allan Poe, but it is a great American writer from 1809 to 1849. An American writer, poet, editor, and literary critic. He is best known for his short stories of mystery and the macabre and his poetry. And he is a very central figure in American literature. He was an early creator of the short story as a literary form and is considered the inventor of the detective fiction as a genre. You might be familiar with The Purloined Letter and Murders in Rue Morgue, for example, for his detective fiction. And Murders in Rue Morgue is kind of a combination of mystery, detective, and horror. And as well as his early form of science fiction. And he is the first well-known American writer to earn his living from his writing alone, which led to financial difficulties his whole career. And he had a very tragic life, complicated by alcoholism, and he died tragically under mysterious circumstances. Yeah, he is a very interesting character. And there have been some movies. There's a really, really great movie, I think it's from the 30s, about him, black and white. I cannot, it's been so long since I've seen it, I can't remember who was in it, but it was a good biopic, even though it was only loosely based on his real life, but it really highlights the tragedy in his life. And probably his single best known piece is probably The Raven, but then which is a poem that kind of crosses over into horror, even though it's not really horrifying. It just borders that. And he's had some marvelous stories. The Pit and the Pendulum, A Cask of Amontillado, Telltale Heart, and others. Some really, really groundbreaking. He has virtually every horror writer since his time has considered him to be the greatest and the foundation, the inspiration for all the other horror writers in American literature since then. So enough about Poe himself. Let's take a little look inside the pages. Here it is. Edgar Allan Poe's The Black Cat. And there's Uncle Creepy. And it says, what is it that prompts a man to surround himself with beast folk? Perhaps it is a need to reaffirm his superiority, perhaps as a reminder of his bestial origins. We lived, my wife and I, for a number of years in a quiet town in the mountains. Here we loved and cared for our menagerie. Listen here, we see their home. I'm not going to read the whole thing here. It's just to introduce you to. And then we see our storyteller and his wife, our unnamed storyteller and his wife, as they lived comfortably, and then you can get a hint of the menagerie. As this cat, they have a bowl of fish, cage there with some bunnies, and there's really, really lovely detail. Of course, Berni Wrightson, the late Berni Wrightson, he co-created Swamp Thing with Len Wein, and he's really known for his horror stuff. He's done his share of non-horror material too. Did a great Batman miniseries, The Cult, which I really like, but I just don't care for his art on Batman nearly as much as in the horror genre, which is not to say anything bad about him at all. And his and I have a copy of somewhere of his great illustrated version of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. It is the text with a bunch of illustrations, and he did so well. He managed to make all the illustrations look like woodcuts, and they're not woodcuts. So here they are in their home, and he's seeing how, but the cat just stuck to him and was constantly at his side, always, always, always. He'd go around town, and the cat would follow him. Finally, he got to the point where he got to the point that he just hated the cat because he could not get away from the cat. He was always being a nuisance. "Keep away from me, filthy beast!" To outrage hate. "Keep away, damn you!" Yeah. Then he thought, "Oh, I should make up with the cat." And he goes, and one night, feeling unusually kindly, due no doubt to the great quantities of wine I'd consumed, because with this beast hounding him, he was drinking a lot more. Here he was, well into his cups. Thought he'd be old friendly. "Here, kitty, 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 kitty." And suddenly the cat, named Pluto, scratched and bit him. And that really, really pissed him off. "Filthy, loathsome beast, I'll teach you." And I cut its eye out. Oh, how horrible. Horrible. How horrible. Ooh. So there it is, a one-eyed cat. And then the guilt descends upon him, and he's horrified at what he had done. But the cat was always there, still always there, reminding him, hissing at him, even in the bath. So one morning I slipped a noose about its neck, and with tears streaming from my eyes, hung it from the limb of a tree. Oh, yes. And then that very night I was roused from sleep by cries of "Fire! Fire!" Yes, their home was burning down, and there it is, in the conflagration. They got out with their lives, but their home was destroyed, and there you see, burned on one bit of wall remaining, was the image of the hanged cat. I hate it when they do that. So is he drinking even more? There he is, farther into his cups. They get a new place to live, and then he spots another cat. Looks the spit and image of the one that was dead. No one laid claim to the animal, and with a little coaxing, it followed me home. And it wasn't until the following day that I discovered that the beast had but one eye. So it was just like the other cat. But they had thought, try to redeem himself, he took in the cat. But this cat was there constantly and confronting him, and his wife was just doting on the animal, ignoring him. Till one day, he and his wife were going downstairs to the basement, and the cat got underfoot and tripped him, and he stumbled and fell down. It made him so angry. I'll take care of you. Grabs the axe. And his wife, my wife, however, intervened, throwing a protective arm about the animal. And in his rage, he buried the axe in her skull. Oh my gosh. Now what a hideous motive. What have I done? What have I done? And he sees, oh, this one wall. It's in bad shape. So he quickly disassembles it, taking it out brick by brick, using a crowbar when necessary. And then puts the body of his wife into the recess, and then mixing up concrete, restacks the bricks, restores the wall, and there he is. Fine. Oh, has the house for himself. Well, in a few days, then after 4 days, the police came to inspect the premises. They subjected the entire house to every manner of rigorous investigations. Why, oh, gentlemen, I'm delighted to show you. Look at it. And he's wide-eyed and sweat on his brow. By the by, gentlemen, this is a very well-constructed house. And he gets very, very into himself. Basically daring them to look further. And then as he taps the wall, they hear a screech from inside the wall. A scream came from behind the wall. And the police quickly disassemble the wall. And there, to their horrified eyes, they find the rotting corpse of the man's wife and the one-eyed cat sitting on her shoulder, howling. Yes, the cat had gotten walled up inside the recess with the body of his wife. Ha ha ha! I had walled the monster up within the tomb. The end. Oh, great. That's great, Poe. Oh, you really captured it. I mean, of course, it's great art, great visual storytelling, everything. I mean, when you have a master storyteller like Edgar Allan Poe and a master visual storyteller like Berni Wrightson together, you get a masterpiece of horror. Yeah, enough. Okay, that's it. That's enough. That's it for creepy number 103, The Black Cat by Edgar Allan Poe. Oh, now on with more from our Halloween fest. Thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Remember, comics are art.